Today, the U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments in what some are calling the sleeping blockbuster case of the year. It's a debate over property rights and labor unions with potentially major implications for health and safety inspections, anti-discrimination laws, and the ability of farm workers to organize. Here's Devin Dwyer.
Cedar Point Nursery in far northern California is the birthplace of baby strawberry plants that feed a multi-billion-dollar fruit industry.
We're one of 7 nurseries that supply the California fruit industry that produces 85% of all fruit consumed nationwide.
Owner Mike Fonner has been in the business for 23 years. Each fall, he hires a small army of migrant workers for a 6 to 8 week sprint to get his product out to customers.
We have to provide them with a good, clean work environment, safe, warm housing, and good pay. We've never had any experience whatsoever with union activity.
In October 2015, the union came to Cedar Point. A group of United Farm Worker activists marched onto the property to organize. Fonner says he was blindsided.
They're chanting on bullhorns, and all work stops. It just literally stops while we're like going, what is this? It's a definition of an ambush, honestly.
Union leaders say it was hardly an ambush.
When we hear words like invasion, attack, those really have racist undertones for people that do not look like the owners coming onto their property. Trespass does not include the lawful activity of union organizers entering onto property for the purpose of speaking with workers under the Agricultural Labor Relations Act.
For 45 years, California state law has authorized union organizers to access farm property for 120 days a year, 3 hours a day during non-work periods. The rules were passed in response to farm worker protests and boycotts in the 1960s and 70s over poor pay and working conditions. Civil rights leader and UFW founder Cesar Chavez argued the right to organize on farm property was essential.
Many agricultural sites are remote. They're in rural areas where access to the internet may be limited. There is no central place for these workers. The work site can be changing from morning into the afternoon, let alone from day to day or from week to week. So when people come onto the work site, that makes them actually believe that these rights actually apply to them, that they can actually use them and they feel empowered to use them.
But Cedar Point Nursery and Fowler Packaging Company, a table grape and citrus producer, which also clashed with the union, argue the law is archaic and should be struck down. The businesses sued the state in 2016, alleging that being forced to grant access to union organizers amounts to an illegal taking of their property by the government. The case landing at the U.S. Supreme Court with potential stakes far beyond the nation's farms.
I'm sure many restaurants would say the same thing about food inspectors. They'd say, we want to allow customers in our property. We just don't want to allow food inspectors to check to see if there are rats running around the kitchen. That ultimately is what is at stake here.
The Takings Clause of the U.S. Constitution says private property shall not be taken for public use without just compensation. It's typically applied to cases of eminent domain, but the farms want the justices to endorse a broader view, one that gives them more power to push back against state regulations.
I think this could be one of the most important cases of the term by far. And what the businesses are arguing here is they have a constitutional right to treat some people on their property different from others.
The stakes are high for the UFW. Despite more than 500,000 farm workers in California, only around 10,000 are union members. The group relies on access to farms to recruit and to educate workers.
I do the harvest of apples, cherries, nectarines, peaches, pears, all of that.
While working conditions and wages have improved over the years, and Fonner says his employees have no complaints, the state of California argues there's still much that needs to be monitored at farms across the industry.
Conditions are very intense. They're very harsh. They're working outdoors. They're still working long hours. There are still issues with adequate access to water, adequate access to shade, adequate access to basic toilet facilities even.
With a phone and a video recorder in every person's pocket. If working conditions are subpar, that is exposed immediately. And from that phone will go to every platform imaginable: Facebook, Twitter,
The showdown over union access rights in California comes as union membership nationwide is at a record low, a sign of slower job growth in unionized industries and also the declining power of organized labor.
The choice to join a union is up to the workers, full stop.
President Biden last month throwing his support behind Amazon workers in Alabama as they try to become the first unionized Amazon facility in the country. Labor advocates say the Supreme Court's decision in the Cedar Point nursery case could make the right to organize in some places harder to achieve.
It could be a real blow to accountability in a lot of other sectors that do not involve just labor law. There are just not enough laws protecting farm workers' right to organize.
Critics say you're out to attack unions, that you want to kill the unions. Is that what you're out to do?
I don't have a strong opinion on the unions. To communicate with someone effectively, they have the means. They don't need access to our property for that purpose. And we've got to change this law, period.
During oral arguments, many of the Supreme Court justices appeared sympathetic to the farm owners' claims, signaling perhaps the court could move to roll back those union access rights in California. But several justices also suggested a more balanced approach to protecting property rights, saying the right to organize and to access for those health and safety inspections are important as well. A decision in this case is expected by the end of June.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.